presentation on water resource engineering. Myself, Sai Krishna. Let's see of Unit 5 Water Power Engineering. In this unit, we have covered so far some topics. They are what is water power engineering and where all the water power engineering systems are made in India, and what are the types of water power developments, and they have seen their types and their classifications, and we have seen some of the classification of hydroelectric schemes. Followingly, we have seen the principal components of hydroelectric scheme 4B. Yes, our next topic is powerhouse. Let's see what is meant by powerhouse and how much was it was essential. Powerhouse of hydel scheme serves as a protective covering for the hydraulic and electrical equipment. The powerhouse is the conspicuous and vital part of hydroelectric development. It should therefore be a satisfactory appearance, harmonizing with the surroundings. The following items of equipment should be provided for the layout of powerhouse. Now, for having a powerhouse, it should be with all this for securing both hydraulic and electrical equipments. The powerhouse should consist of a hydraulic equipment to save the hydraulic equipment of turbines, gates or gate valves, relief valves for penstoke settings, governors, flow measurement equipment. And coming to electrical equipment, generators, air ducts, existers, transformers, pump and cooling system connectors, runs and platforms, switching equipment, low tension buses, switchboard panels, switchboard equipment and instruments, oil switches. Next, high tension equipment, high tension system, buses, oil circuit breakers, lightning assisters, outgoing connections. Next, auxiliaries, storage batteries, station lighting. The miscellaneous equipments, namely crane, shop, office rooms, lavatory, etc. It is becoming more and more the practice to place the transformer and high tension equipment outdoor near the powerhouse, which result in a material saving in cost. Okay, if we place a transformer and high tension equipment very near to the powerhouse, will save numerous material, that giving a connection between powerhouse to transformer. Okay. The powerhouse has two main parts, superstructure and substructure. Here also we have main two parts, namely superstructure and substructure. A superstructure is that portion of powerhouse which is above the ground level. A big size power station may be multi-storied building having a main machine hall at the ground floor. Sometimes in a mountainous country, underground powerhouse may be constructed. The substructure of powerhouse mainly consists of a foundation block of concrete immediately below the machine hall. The concrete blocks has a number of passages for fixing the turbine scroll, the draft tubes and power cables. What they are coming to say, what are they trying to say is nothing but in powerhouse also there are two types of structures, namely substructure and superstructure. As a civil engineer, we all know that substructure comprises of foundation. A substructure is the part of structure that comes below the ground level. And superstructure is nothing but that arises above the ground level, that all known as superstructure. Here in the superstructure, it is built up of big power station. It may be a multi-story, having a main machine hall at the ground floor. We naturally have main missions all at the ground floor because to withstand their weight. Sometimes mountainous country, underground powerhouse may be constructed. In some countries, underground powerhouse also maybe they are constructed. The foundation consists of the blocks of concrete immediately below the mission hall. A general arrangement of hydraulic unit in the powerhouse. Let's see what are those. In the case of vertical single runner water wheel, unit of reaction turbines and direct connected generators, the most convenient and economical arrangement is to place the units in a line parallel to the length of the powerhouse. In the case of horizontal unit of reaction turbines, the best arrangement is to place each unit on a line to the axis of length of the powerhouse. In the both case, the spacing between the unit is controlled by the film of scrolling casing, draft tube tail, race or generator. Dimensions. Okay. For horizontal setting of impulse turbines, the best tail race of generator dimensions for the horizontal turbine, the best arrangement is to place the wheel shaft parallel to the big axis. So the axis gives the most of the expansion and it rolls into the turbine, makes the most arrangement hydroelectric unit in the powerhouse. The spacing of units in this case is determined by the dimension and necessary clearance rather than by paint stroke. Flume or tail race widths for vertical setting of impulsive wheels. The unit should be lie within the center of the line parallel to the axis of length of the house. Both penstock and tail race channel running in the same direction. Make sure both run in the same direction after and before the powerhouse. The above arrangement require a rectangular building with floor occupied by turbines and their accessories, the governors, oil pumps, exhausters, etc. The switchboard and operating platform are generally placed on a mezzanine or second floor. A traveling crane is an important part of the powerhouse equipment. It will span the width of the house and be arranged to travel for its entire length. In fixing in fixing elevation of the crane rail above the floor, it is essential that sufficient headroom be provided lifting for lifting the carrying along any of the various machine parts. Scroll casing, draft tube and tail race. Let's see about these topics. Scroll casing, draft tube and tail race are three main topics that we have to cover on. After that, we have the formulas that are combined to those related topics. Followingly, we will assess of water power potential following with the following examples. Okay, now let's see. What is scroll casing, draft tube and tail race? Scroll casing. Scroll casing surrounds the turbine runner and guide mechanism. The water from penstock is delivered to the scroll casing. The spiral casing is spiral shaped to avoid the formation of eddies and to distribute water evenly around the guide vanes. The casing is made up of cast steel, plate steel or concrete, depending upon the head. The main purpose of scroll casing is to maintain nearly uniform velocity at the entry of the guide vanes. The use of concrete scroll casing is necessarily conformed to low heads, usually not over 20 meter. Plate steel crossing scroll casing is used to head up to 110 meters. That's all regarding with the respect to scroll casing. Next, draft tube. Draft tube is a pipe. Draft tube is normally a pipe or passage of gradually increasing cross-sectional area, which connects the runner axis to the tail race. It serves the following purposes. The following purposes are: it permits a negative or section head to be established at the runner exit, thus making it possible the placing of wheel and connecting machinery at a level above that of water in the tail race. Under the high water flow conditions of river, without loss of head, it uses. The second point is that is to serve. It reduces the high velocity of water discharged by the turbine by gradually enlarging the cross section, and thus it directly converts the kinetic energy of water leaving the runner into mechanical energy of the wheel. Here, the draft tube converts the kinetic energy into mechanical energy. Thus, it acts as a recuperator of pressure energy. We have a diagram regarding this. Let's have a look. Figure 21.7. Okay, have a look at the diagram. This is the conical type, this is the elbow type, this is wide or high cone type, Moody spreading type. Okay, shows types of draft tubes in common. They are the common types of draft tubes. The conical tube or vertical trapped pipe expanding at the rate of 4 to 8 degrees. It is made up of steel plate and is the most efficient of all the types of draft tubes. It is the most efficient in reducing assist loss. But with large unit of this world, mean excavation and substructure. Consequently, for large units, the elbow tube, that is for the next one, has become conventional as it is afford benefit in cost of excavation. The hydrocone draft tube, patented in 1917 by W.N. White, utilizes the so-called hydrocone action of jet of water impinging and plate and being deflected. Okay, let's see the all one. Moody spreading type, wide or hydrocone type, elbow type, conical type. From all the directions, the Moody or spreading shaft tube obtains substantially the same effect as the hydrocone by the actual cone constructed symmetrically in the tube. The hydrocone and Moody draft tubes are also permit the better utilization of the work component of water entering the draft tube for impulse turbines. No draft tube are provided and the head from nozzle to tail race is lost. Applying the Bernoulli's theorem for the above condition between 2 points at the entrance of the draft tube and point 4 at the tail race level, we get this formula: V2 square by 2G plus P2 by W plus H2, that is equal to W4 square by 2G plus 0 plus 0 plus HF plus K V3 cube by 2G. It's as a point 1. Okay. Here HF is nothing but friction losses in the draft tube and K is approximately unity. Transposing and noting V4 square by 2G is usually small and may be neglected. We could also neglect that. So finally we get W2 by W, that is equal to minus H2 minus V2 square by 2G minus V3 square by 2G of plus HF Here H2 is equal to, we have something for H2. On substituting on 21.1, we get some other equation. From the above approximate analysis, it is clear that the pressure in the tube next to the turbine blades is negative. Expect for losses the residual head, H2, and the large proportion of velocity head V2 square by 2g minus V3 square by 2g are converted by the draft. Are converted by the draft turbo into a negative pressure head. Since to avoid cavitation, the negative pressure has to be limited to such a valve that the absolute pressure in the tube remains above the vapor pressure of the water. It is evident for a given height of draft tube, there is a limiting value of V2, or conversely, a given value of V2 limits the height of the draft tube. The height H2 of the wheel above the tail race is limited to about 8 meter as an extreme. So next coming to tail race, the tail race is the channel into which the draft tube discharges where the powerhouse is close to the river. The tail race may be the river itself. The tail race may be the river itself where it flows the water to the river. In other cases, an artificial race channel may be connected to powerhouse with the river. It happens sometimes. Some artificial things may happen. Moody spreading tubes and some forms of hydrocone where there is no open channel under the powerhouse. The substructure becomes practically a mass of concrete with water passages. The depth 1.5 meter per second will be suitable. I hope so, yes. They are suitable. 1.5 meter per second are suitable. The tail race channel should be maintained properly so that excessive aggradation and degradation is avoided. You could avoid by maintaining such tail race channel. The excessive aggradation raises the tail water level, thus reducing the head. The excessive degradation may lower the tail water level and may uncover the draft tube. In the both cases, we have problems, so we have to maintain tail race. This may in turn cause unsatisfactory flow conditions, increase the losses and may damage the turbine blade by way of cavitation. Okay. The topic what we have learned. If you have any queries, please let me know, and thanks for watching my video.